This is the instructional video for setting up your Wayland Academy signature in Microsoft Outlook 2011 for the Mac. A little bit different than the process for the PC. So you'll start once again with the email that Amy Bembenek set out that has an attachment on it, and the attachment is called signature.doc, and that's a Word document which contains the signature that you're going to use as a template. So you'll open that document in Microsoft Word, and just as was the case before, it's going to be Joe's signature as the template. You're not going to modify it in Word. That's a distinction from the other process. So once you open it up in Word, just highlight the entire signature and then copy it. Go up to Edit, Copy. Now go back to Microsoft Outlook, and in Microsoft Outlook, you're going to open an email. So you're actually going to edit the signature in an email message. To do that, you want to click in the body, which is this area down here. Make sure that your blinking cursor is in the body, and then go up to Edit and Paste. Okay. Now we're ready to make our modifications. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that the font for all the different parts of the signature is 11 points. So I'm going to highlight the entire signature, come up here to this small drop-down menu that controls my font size. I'm going to click on the drop-down arrow and select 11, and you'll see that it makes the font slightly bigger. And then I want to go ahead and change the information. So I'm borrowing Craig Hill's computer for this exercise, so I'm going to change it with using Craig's information. So change that. And you're just going to highlight what was previously there and then type in your information because I want the font to remain the same. So Craig is going to be Chair of Science, Dean of Faculty. Next thing you'll probably modify is the email signature down here at the bottom. And then lastly, you're going to modify your extension. So Craig's extension is 226. A couple small adjustments that I would suggest. First of all, typically email addresses, you don't want to have any capitals in them. It can just be a little confusing. So I'm going to come down here and change that to a lowercase c. And then with this graphic, we can't move the Wayland Academy font over because the words Wayland Academy is part of the graphic. So what I want to do instead is just take my cursor and click just to the left of the seal and use my space bar and kind of move it over maybe just a few spaces because I want the name, the title, and then the W of Wayland Academy, and then this information down here as well. I want that to be pretty well lined up. So, eyeball it up a little bit. There's not really a perfect formula, but if you use your space bar, it's not all that difficult. Once I've got all my changes made, I'm going to once again highlight all the text, and then again edit, copy, and then I'm going to close that email message, and I'll get this warning saying you're closing a message that you haven't sent. I want to say discard changes because we're not going to actually send that email. We're just using it to edit the signature. I'm back in my Outlook inbox, and now I want to go up to the top of the screen, click on Outlook. Under Outlook, I want to come down and select Preferences. Gives me my Preferences menu. Within the Preferences menu, one of my choices in the middle here is Signatures. So I'm going to click on Signatures, and that's going to give me a list of whatever signatures I already have. Now, we've gotten rid of all of Craig's to make this simple, but you may have a number of signatures here, and you'd see them listed here. Either way, what you'll do is to create a new signature is come down here to this plus button and click plus, and you'll see that adds a new signature. Come over here to this part of the screen, this blank area, which is where I can modify my signature, and I'm just going to highlight and then hit delete, get rid of what's already in there, and then since I copied the signature from that email message we were using, I'm just come up to Edit and select Paste, and you'll see that pastes in the signature information. The next thing that I would suggest doing, just for simplicity's sake and just to make sure you know what you're working with, is to change the name of the signature. And you'll do that by putting your cursor on the title, which by default is untitled, and then just do a double click quickly. And when I do a double click, it changes. You'll see the screen changes a bit, and I'm able to just type what I want this to be. So I'll type in Hill signature, and then I'll hit return. And the last thing I have to do is to assign this signature to be used in all my email addresses. And in order to do that, I'll come down here to default signatures, and you should have one email account, which is going to be called Wayland or wayland.org or whatever you have it called, and this is the signature associated with that account. Right now I don't have one. To change that, I'm just going to come over here to these arrows, click, and it will give me options. So whatever, if you have 5 signatures, you'll see all 5 of them listed here. We only have the one in this case, so it's pretty easy. So just select whichever signature you just created. Say Hill signature, I'll click OK. After I click OK, I'm going to come to this signature menu, click on the arrow in the upper left, or I'm sorry, the red button in the upper left hand corner, close that out, and now to test it, I'm just going to create a new email, and you'll see when I create a new email, the signature that I created is already there for me, and it'll be there for every email message that you send out. Remember, the deadline for this is August 16th. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm glad to help. Otherwise, please get this taken care of as soon as you can.